addition to obviously a great collection of talent, what is it about Boston or their style that makes them such a talent?
I think it's the last thing you said. They're a team. All the individual guys that they have, as elite as they are, when you watch them and you study them, they play team basketball. They're willing to make the selfless play over and over again. And it's not just a mix of talented players, but they mix and match well together. Guys are assuming a role, and they've accepted that role and want to be the best at it. On any given night, their roles can shift because they're so capable of, getting it going. But, the most impressive thing to me is just how they play team basketball on both sides of the floor.
Coach, you've been around some talented guards in your time in the league, obviously. You've been around Cade for about a little bit over a quarter of a season now. How do you kind of just assess where he is?
I think he's one of the most talented guards that I've been around. A combination of talent, but also the size that he has, which allows him to do so many different things. He can make passes because of his size that a lot of smaller guys can't make. He does a really good job of seeing the game and reading the game. His leadership, at his age is off the roof. Like some of the things that he does, like small things that he does that some people might not see. I think like the other night when we were in Indiana, and he just kept feeding Asar the basketball, and finally Asar made the last one. Like that shows so much trust and belief in your teammate, right? And just helps him become a better basketball player. Like he does those small things over and over again. So from a basketball standpoint, the talent's there. The leadership innately is there. And it's going to be fun to just watch him continue to grow and get better.
How much do you feel like you and your team kind of valued the cup this year and that whole experience? And maybe even compared to the Cleveland team you coach, like is it different for every team? Just what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a great thing. I do think there is a huge incentive, in it. I know, at the beginning, a lot of us were skeptical of what it was going to be like. But what I also know is if you give guys that are in the NBA an opportunity to compete for something, whether it's cards, whether it's games, whatever it might be, like they're going to find a way to go out and compete and get after it. So I think it's added a lot, to our league. I think for us, as we're kind of grow. It gave us an opportunity to play and experience truly meaningful basketball that our young guys haven't had an opportunity to play. A game with so much on the line, the stakes were high for our guys. So for us going through this growing process, I think it's a great opportunity for us to learn those things and see what it actually feels like to gain that experience.
You coach against these guys in the playoffs. Since then, how has Peyton Pritchard, the freedom that he's playing with and the aggression, how does that change how you have to guard him? How much more of a focus is he now?
We always had a ton of respect for him. So I don't think it changed. It feels like the opportunities are a little bit more for him than they were in the past. But the level of respect that we've had for him has always been high. His ability to make big shots, but the more opportunities, the more minutes he gets. Like now he's just getting an opportunity to make more shots. So, you got to do a great job on him and watching him play it's a well-rounded offensive game, right? Like you watch the film, and he's not just a spot shooter. He's a guy who can create his own. He's got an uncanny ability to finish over bigger guys in the paint. So you have to defend him as a complete offensive player.
Jimmy, when you left Cleveland, you could have easily taken a break, taken a year off, relaxed. What made you say, okay, I don't want to break, I don't want to breathe, I want to jump back in? And what kind of went through that process?
It was a long process because at the time, there wasn't much going on. So I got some time off to kind of reevaluate what was going on. And I tell people all the time, like my family and I were moving to Southern California. At the time, we had found a school for our kids and everything. And then I got a call from Trajan, and the conversations that he and I had just made me comfortable. They ignited a fire in me to be a part of something, that was going to be built in the right way. It was going to be built on consistency. It was going to be built on the quality of the human beings that you get to work with and be with every single day. And then, having the conversation with Tom, our owner, what his vision was for how people should be treated, just aligned with what my thoughts were. And then, looking at the team, like the cupboard wasn't bare. I thought there was some really, really talented young players on this team who, I would be excited to work with every day and kind of help them get to their potential. And so it just worked out overall. It wasn't going to be any job, I'll be honest with you. But this was the one that I felt comfortable with and took a chance on it.
JB, you see the way the three-point numbers are kind of going up. These guys are over 50. I think there's 8 teams that are over 40. I think there's a handful of teams that could finish the season with like 50% or more of their attempts being three-pointers. It's obviously not going anywhere. It's a trend. Do you think it's good for the NBA? Is it good basketball being played when, almost half or more of your shots are threes?
I mean, again, I'm probably older than I may seem from a basketball standpoint, right? Like, I prefer and love the diversity in the game and what things can look like, right? And how those shots are created. Like, if you're watching a team, the Celtics, for example, that create these shots off of like ball movement, penetrating, kicking, swinging, like those types of things. And like, that's pretty basketball, right? Sometimes I think you see a lot of just individual one-on-one, off the bounce. The ball doesn't move. Everybody stands and watches. Like, to me, that's not beautiful basketball. So I think it's a difference on how you generate those threes because you can do it in a way that's like pure to the game of basketball. And then obviously the blend of analytics and what people are seeing through that. But like, I do miss the days of a low post presence, a guy who you throw the ball to, you force a double team, and now they rotate, and then you get your threes. Like, to me, that's kind of, the Patrick Ewings, the Hakeem Olajuwons that I grew up watching. So, again, I like the diversity of it, but I do understand, the reasoning behind it.